Hey y'all, Will here, otherwise Elray, and today in Once Human we're going to be going over the epic quality ACS12 Netherworld shotgun. This is doing a lot of damage, and I feel that a lot of people are sleeping on this gun. I myself was referred to this gun by someone in my comment section, so shout out to Kingbird III about sharing this weapon and its potential strength with me so I can share it with you guys so that everyone can benefit and more people know more guns that they can try out. This is a ramp up gun, aka a gun that takes a little bit of time to really show its true color as far as damage is concerned, but once it's there, it's great. So it really takes off when you're looking at epics or elites, excuse me, and bosses in the game. Going over to the gun itself, here it is, the ACS12 Netherworld. When all projectiles hit, there is a 50% chance to trigger Fast Gunner. After triggering Fast Gunner 2 times, the next one shot will consume an additional 1 bullet and fire an additional 5 projectiles. After reloading, when the magazine is empty, the first 12 bullets will have an attack plus 20% bonus on top of that. So, looking at this gun, there's 5 pellets that can be increased to 10 about a third of the time. So a third of the time we're doing double damage as long as we are close enough to hit all projectiles. The magazine is 18, however, only for the first 12 bullets we'll have an attack plus 20%, which is conveniently about 33% of the magazine as well. So now we're understanding that if we tone down the magazine size and increase the fire rate further, increase the reload further, we're going to have a better time with this gun. With any drum mag shotgun, it does take a long time to reload, so absolutely we need to look at ways to reduce the time of that. That's pretty much the idea behind the build that I'm going with. So there's the shotgun and how that works. Going into gear, we of course have the Netherworld. And on the calibration attribute, the first thing I want to talk about, we're going to run the lightweight style. Reload speed plus 150% and magazine capacity minus 30. So there's our 33% to bring it down to 12 as a baseline. Then I have double crit rate on that just to accentuate more damage. On the chance of not being able to hit weak spots, I think that if you would always be able to hit weak spots with a shotgun, you would probably want weak spot damage instead. But in my case, I like crit rate because it balances out my damage when I'm not able to hit weak spots. For the mask that I'm running, we're going to go over the loadout very quickly. I'm running the Precise Shot Mask. This is the epic mask that you get just for exploring the world later in the game. When triggering Fast Gunner, your reload speed is plus 25%, up to 10 stacks, so a total of 250%. Effect is removed after reloading, so every time you reload, you have to get this going again. So that is how that will be working. And then on our armor pieces outside of that unique effect, we're going to have a 2-piece Bastille for the extra 10% weapon damage. On any weapon damage build, weapon damage is king. That's the base modifier, and everything multiplies off that. So you really want to have as much weapon damage as possible. That's why I like Bastille. Not only that, but it gives us a little bit extra reload speed. Then on to the controversial subject here. We have the Falcon set 3-piece, and I am using it specifically because I'm going through a lot of builds, and I do not have a 3-piece Renegade on these specific items. I do not have a 3-piece Lone Wolf on these specific items. Those two sets, Renegade or Lone Wolf, very well might be better than Falcon. However, if this is all that you got, this is all that you got, and you had to run with it. Even with Falcon, this gun is doing great damage, and I think that it is definitely viable for anyone to use, especially when you're bossing or dealing with a lot of elite enemies. Going over mods, on the gun itself, we're running Cowboy. This is going to make it so we have a trigger chance of 100% for a Fast Gunner all the time. No joke. If you have this gun running effectively after the ramp up, you will have 100% trigger chance, which means that you will have that true 33% damage increase from how this gun works. Not only that, but I got lucky, and while in Fast Gunner state, my weapon damage increased by 6.4%. I don't have a second damage attribute of weak spot or crit, so this isn't perfect for me, but this is what I got to work with. Next, for the helmet, I'm running first move advantage, and after reloading, crit rate plus 10% and crit damage plus 20% for 2 seconds. This is up At least 80% of the time. We shoot very fast. We reload very fast. We're going to be getting this all the time. So instead of going something of like Fateful Strike where you cannot deal weak spot damage, we absolutely do want to deal weak spot damage, and we're getting a very similar benefit from this without losing that extra weak spot damage bonus. So we're going first move advantage. This is one of the very few guns that can actually use it well. So we get a chance to. On the mask mod for Fast Gunner, we have Blitzkrieg. Fast Gunner stacks +5, so instead of 5 stacks of Fast Gunner, now we have 10, which increases our fire rate by 1% each standardly, and our attack by 1% each. But we're going to have double the fire rate, so we're going to have 20% fire rate instead of 10%. Again, this isn't a great roll. It just has a basic damage mod on it, but this is what I have to work with. All the sub-attributes on your gun can make your weapon do so much more damage. This definitely has room for improvement. Falcon Gloves, I'm running Crit Amplifier. This is just crit rate and crit damage with weak spot and damage on it on the sub-attributes. This is a great thing to have. Just a stat increaser. On our boots, Slow and Steady, the same thing. When you're healthy, we need to be healthy for our Bastille to take effect. We get extra damage, and this is just doubling up with that. On the chest piece, I'm running Healing Fortification. Does not matter what you use here. So you can run anything you want mod-wise on your chest. Whatever you prefer is your choice. This is your personal little flair. I prefer when I can to get quick comeback, because when you use a healing shot, your speed is increased so you can run away quicker or get under cover quicker, and it also refills your magazine from your inventory. However, in the case of this gun, that refill the magazine isn't very necessary, so you may get better mileage out of something more defensive. Then finally, on to the pants slot, we have Deadshot. Each crit hit goes up by 5%, and then you get a max of 45. I feel like you can do this very easily. I was looking at other things, and I was thinking of 3 strikes maybe for the extra weapon damage, but this is only for the first 3 shots after reloading, so it's not perfect. Bullet Siphon, you go through your magazine so quickly and you're not getting the count. I think Deadshot is the best here, no doubt about it. So those are the mods that we're running. So I just want to do a quick dummy test and show you how the ramp up of this gun works so that you're satiated in your curiosity there. This, you do want to hit weak spots as much as you can, and that is going to ultimately increase your damage the most. However, after 2 magazines, your damage is as high as possible. So I'm going to do a 2-round blast on the first dummy with not proper damage, I'll call it, and then switch over to the second dummy when our damage is fully stacked. Also, pay attention to the reload, because this is crazy how this works. So the first reload, we didn't get to keep our Fast Gunner stacks, and then on the second whole magazine, we do. And switching right over, see how I missed that just by a hair? I did not get what I wanted. But you can see still 40,000 DPS, and then here it's going to ramp up even further because I actually hit the reload. And then it's about, you know, on average, if you're just shooting headshots, at least 40, if not more. You can get a lot. It does go through ammunition. Don't get me wrong. You need a lot of shotgun shells for this gun to work. You really do. But it hits hard and it hits well. And you can increase this further by a huge extent if you actually go to your gun and go to your accessories and switch your ammo to something stronger. I baseline everything off of tungsten ammo typically, and this makes the most sense to me. It's a straight 10% damage per shot increase. It's easy to get. A lot of people think that tungsten is too hard to get because of the acid. I've never had problems with acid in this game. I might just be ignorant to something. I'm not sure. But tungsten ammo is my baseline. However, when you go up to lethal shotgun ammo, and you see that I have been testing this, I have 400. This increases your damage again by 25%, on top of increasing your base damage by 5% again. So this is going to ramp up your damage, and you're going to see around 60,000 damage DPS straight out with just this lethal ammo before you even get into deviations and everything else. So this gun is strong. It hits like a truck. You cannot switch out your magazine. I still try to get as much stability and accuracy as I can, and my reload speed, even though it's slow, all our modifications make that better. So there's your damage. I went over the mods. I went over the loadout. We need to go over the cradle still. The cradle on this weapon and fast gunners in general aren't perfect, but they're good. We go with handgun enhancement. This increases our damage while holding a shotgun, even though it doesn't state, like automatic weapons you can understand, long range you can understand. It's kind of weird that they put handgun and shotgun together, but I know that they're limited on spots. So don't forget that the handgun enhancement does increase your shotgun damage. It's important to know that. Secondly, we're going to be running this is all fluff here. Everyone should run Deviation Master, but this is all fluff additional. Tactical Combo increases your weapon damage by 25% after reloading, which is exactly what we do all the time, and it works great. There's not much else for fast gunner here except for steady hand, which increases our weak spot damage. So we definitely do want to aim for weak spots, but this is more meant for memento instead of this gun. However, we use it just to increase our damage where we can. And as I said, everything else here is fluff. Actually, most of this build is fluff just to have, you know, less damage taken. You can roll to have more damage reduction. You're going to be close to things. This makes the most sense. You have extra healing, etc. So there's the cradle for you. I know a lot of people say, hey, you forgot to go over the cradle. And I'll admit, I haven't been the best about that. And yeah, so that is the Netherworld. Just a quick and dirty video about it. I think that it has a lot of potential. Mind you, this is only a 1-star gun. It is. It's not even built out very well. I just picked this up. It's 2,000 Starchrome from the weapon shop in the Wish machine. So it's quick to get. The Precise Shot Mask is a complete budget. You get this for free. Falcon you get for free. Bastille, I found these items. They're going to break eventually, but I do like the weapon damage increase. And in general, this gun is just crazy. So definitely give it a shot if you like shotguns, no pun intended. And tell me what you think. Have you made it better? Have you not? So on and so forth. Because for being a strong gun, I'll admit that it does have ramp up, which isn't the easiest thing to work around, and sometimes it feels bad. But typically when I'm running around in the wild, you know, if I pop even a couple body shots, like, you're still hitting over 10,000, 15,000 DPS, and that's on just general mob enemies. They're going to fall over and die. There's no way they're going to survive that just off of just shooting them in the face. So it's still completely relevant for mob control as well. I don't really see a downside. However, you're definitely not getting the same damage as if you had it ramped up when it just starts feeling extreme. So with that, thank you for watching. Later.